Our country Nigeria is in darkness. For years, we've been promised steady and reliable electricity, but all this turned out to be empty promises.
Whichever way, by all means necessary, you must have electricity, and you will not pay for estimated bill anymore.
Almost every Nigerian owns a generator or inverters just to get electricity, and despite the fact that we lack this basic amenity, Nigeria still supplies countries like Benin and Niger Republic electricity. And you know what's funny? They have constant electricity and we don't have. So how is it that a country that doesn't have good electricity is able to supply other countries while we suffer in darkness? Well, in this video, I'm going to explain why Band A electricity is so expensive and why the electricity situation in Nigeria is a huge mess. I'm Shalom and this is Shali Tech. Let's dive right in. So let's start by understanding how electricity is being generated in Nigeria. In Nigeria, electricity starts mainly from two sources. Number one, thermal power plants. These are plants that burn gas to create steam that turns turbines. And number two, hydropower dams like Kanji and Jeba, and these actually use the power from the force of water to spin these turbines. So here's how electricity gets to you in Nigeria. The power generated from either the steams of the thermal power plant or the force of water generated from the hydropower dams is used to spin massive turbines. Now, the rotation and spinning of these turbines is used to generate electricity. The generated electricity then travels through transmission lines across the country to distribution companies, and then from the distribution companies it gets distributed to your house. But here's the catch. Every step costs a lot of money, and if any step has an issue like maybe a broken gas pipeline, a broken turbine, or collapsed transmission line, the entire chain is going to suffer. And if any of this happens, who is going to pay for all that? You and me. Now that you've seen how delicate and expensive the process is, let's talk about why your Band A bill looks like you are saving money to buy a car. So the first reason why the prices of electricity are skyrocketed is because of the removal of subsidy. Now, what exactly is subsidy? Well, in simple terms, a subsidy is financial assistance given by the government to reduce the cost of a product or service, making it affordable for the public. So imagine you go to a restaurant with your friend, and after you guys eat, your bill is 200k, but your friend offers to pay 150k from the bill and you are left with just 50k. That's exactly how subsidy works. The government helps you pay part of your bill, so you just pay a little fraction and the body will not be too much on you. So now that you understand what subsidy is, what exactly is this Band A and Band B nonsense? Well, if you go back to November 2013, Nigeria's electricity sector was privatized in November 2013, and before then, the government actually controlled the distribution of power and electricity through the PHCN, which is the Power Holding Company of Nigeria. And because this was being controlled by the government, they were able to subsidize costs directly or indirectly. But after the electricity sector in Nigeria got privatized, the NERC, which is Nigerian Electricity Regulation Commission, actually introduced tariffs from Band A to Band E, and these tariffs were meant to categorize customers based on service hours and the quality of power supply. So ideally, Band A customers should typically receive the most reliable service within around 20 to 24 hours of electricity per day. Now, the higher your band, the better the service and potentially the higher your bill. But here's the question: these people in Band A, are they actually receiving what was promised? Let's find out. So I spoke with some people that use Band A electricity in Lagos, and here's their feedback. The first person said that he receives about 16 to 20 hours of light per day, and that he used to pay 10k for electricity per month before Band A, and after Band A he now pays 50,000 naira per month. That is a 5 times increase. Now the second person said that he gets up to 20 hours as promised, and that he spends about 100k per month on electricity even though he has solar and inverters installed in his house. Now the third person that I spoke to said that sometimes he gets about 24 hours of light and sometimes he gets no light at all. And if you look at the average over a period of 1 month, he usually gets about 16 hours per month, which is actually fair. He also stated that he used to pay 120k per month before Band A, and now he pays about 300k per month after the whole band A and whatever issue. So generally speaking, band A customers get what they promised, just that they have to pay a higher price for this electricity. Now, before the subsidy removal, electricity cost was significantly lower for band A customers, and it cost around 60 to 70 naira per kilowatt hour. But after the removal, the NERC approved a new tariff of approximately 225 naira per kilowatt hour, and that's over a 200 times increase. But what about other bands like band B, C, and D, or even those of us that don't even know what band we are on? Well, assuming it was only subsidy that was the problem, it wouldn't have been too bad, but the next problem was just waiting right around the corner. Now, the second reason why the electricity situation in Nigeria is a mess is because of our economy. You see, Nigeria's electricity isn't directly tied to the naira. As we all know, we barely produce anything by ourselves, so almost everything from gas plants to spare parts and even general maintenance is directly tied to the US dollar. And since 2023, the naira has collapsed from around 450 naira to about 1,600 naira per dollar, and that means that the cost to generate 1 unit of electricity has also tripled. It's like being told that your monthly rent is now the price to buy a brand new car. And if you think that's bad, wait till you hear about the main material that is used to produce electricity. Now, Nigeria generates about 70% of its electricity using natural gas, but in the last few years, gas producers stopped selling at friendly local rates and they started demanding international prices, which is paid in dollars, obviously. Now, gas has become so expensive that even the power plants are struggling to buy enough. But even after producing this expensive electricity, guess what Nigeria does next? Now, despite all these problems we have in Nigeria, Nigeria still exports electricity to other countries. In 2005, Nigeria entered into a West African Power Pool agreement, and we committed to supply electricity to neighboring countries including Niger Republic, Benin Republic, and Togo. Now, this treaty aimed to foster regional energy integration and stability. However, despite facing domestic power shortages, Nigeria still continues to fulfill its obligations under this agreement. Now, I know that all this English is too much. What it simply means is that Nigeria entered into this agreement so that we can help other countries to gain or to have good electricity. But despite the fact that we are suffering and we have a lot of issues, Nigeria still continues to honor these agreements and supply electricity to these countries at the detriment of our own lives. Now, as of the fourth quarter of 2024, the Nigerian Electricity Regulation Commission reported that significant debts were owed by these countries that Nigeria supplies electricity to. A report shows that Benin Republic and Togo owe a combined debt of $8.84 million for electricity consumed in the fourth quarter of 2024. Another post also shows that Niger Republic, Benin Republic, and Togo collectively owed about $5.7 million in the third quarter of 2024. Now, this debt actually accumulates over time, and this will definitely impact the Nigeria's electricity sector, our revenue, and our infrastructure development. And that's not even the worst part. It gets even worse when you realize that the little electricity that was left for us is leaking through broken pipes. Now, imagine fetching water with a basket. Like, imagine, of course, we know you're not going to get any water, and if you manage to get any water, you would sweat before you get anything. But imagine that when you complain, you get castigated for not fetching water properly. Does that make any sense? Well, that's exactly how the Nigerian power system treats its citizens. You see, many of Nigeria's transmission lines, the transformers, and even the power stations are older than some of our politicians. Some of these structures were built in the 1960s and the 1970s during the military regime. Okay, and unfortunately, since then, little or no serious upgrade has been done. They would patch it here today and patch it there tomorrow, but the main foundation is still rotten. According to reports, over 60% of Nigeria's transmission infrastructure is completely outdated and operating far beyond its designed lifespan. And that is exactly why once small rain falls, one transformer can just blow, or one phylum can fall and throw the entire cities or states into darkness for days and sometimes for even weeks. And this is also one of the reasons why we've had various reports that the national grid collapsed. I can't even count the number of times that grid has collapsed from 2023 to 2025. Now, here's the wicked part. Every time they need to fix these decaying lines, buy new transformers or repair old substations, who do you think pays for the bills? It's not the government, it's me, you, and Band A customers that pay expensive rates for electricity. Now, you're not just paying for your own light, you are paying for the sins of 50 years of negligence. And unfortunately, while you are out there trying to patch all these holes, someone else is busy counting profits. Because remember, since 2013, Nigeria's electricity has been privatized. And what does that mean? That means that the distribution companies and the generation companies are private businesses now, and their main concern isn't how many transformers are failing, or how many families are in darkness, or how many families are even sweating in the night. Their focus is simply to cover their costs, charge high enough to stay profitable, and make sure that their shareholders are happy. It's not charity, it's strictly business. So whenever the government says, oh, we cannot subsidize Band A electricity again, it's not just about you paying more, it's about making sure the companies survive and thrive, even if it means that the ordinary Nigerian is buried under premium tiers. Now, despite paying high prices for electricity, a lot of people still experience frequent blackouts, transformer breakdowns, and even power rationing. Yet, every month their bills arrive as if the service has been flawless, full premium rates without premium service. It's just like booking and paying for a first class flight, but when you get there, they give you a seat that is very, very close to the toilet. That's what is happening in Nigeria. Ideally, electricity is not just another service, it's supposed to be a fundamental human right. Yet in Nigeria, basic survival comes with an unbearable cost. We pay astronomical prices hoping for consistency and reliability, but we are often left stranded in darkness. Now, as long as our power systems remain outdated, as long as our government policies prioritize profit over people, it doesn't matter if you're in Band A, Band B, Band C, Band Z. Every Nigerian household suffers in one way or the other. Now, let me ask you directly, what was your Nepa bill like last month? How many hours of electricity do you get per day? Drop your comments in the comment section and I'll be there to respond to you. And if you are also a Band A and you had the opportunity to switch from Band A to another band, would you be willing to make that switch? Let me know in the comment section. And just in case you are wondering why Nigerians might never get unlimited data, click here to find out. You can also click here to find out why Nigeria's internet is so expensive and unreliable. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you did, feel free to share it with a fellow Nigerian so they can be aware of what is happening in their country. See you in the next one. Cheers.